AI applications. How do we secure AI? There are two different AI flavors. How do we secure the use of generative AI in your organization, and how we secure the AI applications that you have deployed in your organization? Okay, so like I said, there are two different flavors. Uh, Thank you for coming to the Fume event. I know many of you are current Palo Alto Networks firewall customers. On the left-hand side, with the origin of ChatGPT, generative AI became the dominant expression when we are talking about AI applications. From that standpoint, we're not talking about how we secure Gen AI applications. What we are going to focus on with Clara, which stands for Cloud Risk Management, focuses on how organizations like yours that we talked about are being challenged with deploying AI application at a very rapid scale. How are you doing that? How do you protect all of these AI applications and the dependencies that you have? So these are some of the companies that you might be familiar with within the Wisconsin area. Some of them I also support. They have their own AI application deployment right now. Overnight, many of these customers are being challenged to go and deploy AI application, hire AI experts internally, externally, and build AI center of excellence in their organization. Right? And what does that mean? That comes with their own challenges around it. We have been hearing in the news now prompt injection types of attacks. Attacks causing different insecure large language models happening within different businesses of think about AI applications, there is no different than your regular 3D web application that is running infrastructure on the back end. AI applications what are doing is there's a lot more that you get on the back end using the data models and things like that. And for large language models, you are going to Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud, all of these different sources in the LLM side, where you are using all the different devices and all the different compute on the infrastructure side that you have to support to power up your AI application. That means all of these different sources has its own vulnerabilities. On the LLM side, prompt injection is pretty prominent. Modal denial of service attacks, unpatched vulnerabilities. As security engineers, you are all familiar with these. But what it means is that AI application brings additional risks. From an industry standpoint, I hope you're familiar with what OWASP is. It's an industry standard that tracks all the different risks and vulnerabilities within your typical web application. We are extending that within the LLM risks. And on top of the OWASP, you can see there's prompt injection attack, sensitive information, supply chain vulnerabilities. Last week or week before, there was an attack on F5 where they stole the source code. All of these, there are many different types of attacks that are happening. From an AI application standpoint, you have to start thinking about how do you protect against your top 10 risks and how do you mitigate those risks. So that is where AI runtime security with Palo Alto Networks and from a cloud and AI risk assessment, Clara comes into the picture. So here we have Prisma AIRS. So what is Prisma AIRS, right? So if you look at this diagram here, what I'm showing you is what an AI application looks like. And on the middle, with the Prisma AIRS, AI runtime security, we have two components on AI runtime. One is you have the network interceptor model, which is no different than what you are using with your virtual firewalls. Those virtual firewalls get deployed in your cloud workloads. they will intercept the network traffic the same way they are currently your VM firewalls are deployed within different VNets within your cloud infrastructure. And then on the runtime side, whenever this AI application gets built for either internal use cases or external customer-facing use cases, we are analyzing all the different dependencies and training models those AI applications are using. And what we're doing is giving you that holistic view of what are those dependencies, what are the risks, what are the vulnerabilities, right? So I'll just go to this slide here. So with AI runtime security, there are 5 different components, and this is a cyclical approach. So the component that I just talked about, we can do model scanning. You know, if you are an AI developer right now, application developer, you might go to different sources to go and download dependencies for those LLMs. With the AI runtime security, you can do model scanning. Before those AI applications are deployed within your environment, we can do those scannings. Cluster management is just identifying the different level of permissions and sensitive data exposure that is happening within that AI application and its dependency. AI red teaming is just doing like some testing against the application, some stress tests, like you are behaving like a real attacker. In both, when the AI application has, before the AI application gets deployed and before it's deployed as well. And then for runtime, this is where if the application is already launched and you are in prime time, you are also, with the runtime security, you can identify the traffic that application is interfacing with, and you can get the real-time threat and information how that AI application is behaving within your network. And this is a new one that we have just launched with the, are you familiar with the agentic portion of things now? Everything is agent-based, right? Like we have customers deploying agentic AI for several use cases. This is the next phase of AI application. And with AI agent security, we can look at what sort of permission that AI agent has within the AI ecosystem for that application and apply protection around different level of the AI security. So how do you see what AI runtime security is capable of doing? So this is what Clara is. So there are 3 components. On the left, you can see cloud network risk assessment. What that means is, I don't know if you have done security lifecycle review on your firewall before, but Prisma AIRS, which is under the hood, it's a VM-series firewall, gets deployed in your cloud workload. It is looking at all the different network traffic within your AI application and giving you a security report that you can take back and say, okay, here are these AI applications, and this is how they are behaving for us from a network perspective. The next phase is cloud firewall benchmarking. A lot of the customers right now, they are being challenged to go and deploy AI application without them being AI experts. How do you know the security that they are using on the provider side is the best security they have? You already use Palo Alto's physical firewalls or software firewall within different areas. With the cloud firewall benchmarking, there's a sample report I can share with you. What you can get is, how do you test against the security your cloud provider provides, AWS, Azure, GCP, wherever, and how does that compare against Palo Alto Networks, right? And then with the AI risk assessment, this is the component where we are running those API security from the AI runtime security perspective, and we're identifying all the application models and dependencies and giving you a comprehensive report of what that dependency looks like. So here you have the security validation benchmarking on the cloud firewalls. On the right, with the Clara report, you can get the different modal scanning components where for that particular AI application you get this report that shows you all the different components of that particular AI application with vulnerabilities and things like that. And how do you consume it? Do you use VM series firewalls right now? Do you have VM series? You do. So if you are using VM series firewall, there is a way to calculate the software credits that you utilize on your environment, right? And what that means is, if you are already familiar with how to calculate how much credits are needed to deploy protection around your use cases in cloud workload, the same formula applies in Prisma AIRS as well. You just go to Prisma AIRS, decide what you're deploying, whether you're doing AIRS network intercept, that's one component, or AIRS API, the number of firewalls you are going to deploy, and how many CPU and things like that you are going to require, and it's going to give you the number of credits, and it's as simple as that. And then that will give you the software firewall deployment profile within your cloud customer support portal that you can download the Prisma AIRS model, and then you can go and deploy within your AI deployment system and get the AIRS protection right away. One of the things that I want to highlight here is because when did we launch AIRS? Was it in March of this year?
Yes, it was.
It's a very early nascent product, right? There are not a lot of AI agent, AI runtime based security companies out there. So this is pretty early stages for us. So one of the things that we're doing from an incentivizing customers is, if you were to deploy AIRS, and it's pretty important, we can see that from the data point, every customer right now is deploying AI application, whether for internal use cases or external use cases. You have to identify what those use cases are. And if you do that, you go deploy AI runtime security. We are actually funding the professional services part of AI AIRS, so that you can go and do it in a way that you're not like breaking things or you're doing incorrect, right? So that's what I wanted to share from the presentation standpoint. There are a couple of samples that I have for those Clara assessments that you can take a look at, and if you have any questions, we got plenty of Palo Alto MCs here who are all learning this technology as we go. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. They'll be happy to answer and things like that. Thank you so much for coming. And now we can get some more.
Yeah.